So today we're launching a populist pledge / plank / revolt, and we're doing this the day before the election because we want you to know that no matter who wins, we'd like to do this populist revolt. Unfortunately, part of the reason for that is because I don't think either side will deliver any of these basic things that almost all of us agree on. Almost all of us want these things done desperately, but neither side is likely to give it to us at all. So what I'm asking for people to do is to form a populist voting bloc. So the message reads, and I'll tell you what the plank is in a second, but sign this petition to support these policies and form a populist voting bloc to get them passed. This is our pledge to fight together, vote together, and win together for the average American. Okay, so what are these? Look, I kept the 6 policies super simple and clean and clear. Could we add more to this? Of course, but let's start with the things that we all agree on within the populist movement, populist left and populist right. So first is no more wars. In fact, I'll read you the whole list and then we'll go over it. No more wars, money out of politics, negotiate all drug prices, ban private equity from buying residential properties, paid family leave, and higher wages. Now, all of those are supported by both the populist right and the populist left. In fact, they're supported by 2/3 of the whole country at a bare minimum. Some of them are much higher than that. So the one I often talk about is paid family leave, polling at 84%, 74% among Republicans. So even 3/4 of right wing, not even just populist, but all right wing agree on that. We all agree with higher wages. And I say, look, if we get into a situation where we're crafting these bills and you want to argue about, hey, is minimum wage the best way to do that? Or is there another way to bring up higher wages for the average American? Not for corporate executives, not for shareholders, not for donors, but for the average American, then great, let's have that conversation. Let's come up with the policy proposals and demand it. But I think higher minimum wage is, of course, a very rational place to start that. I've never seen anyone on the populist right that says, no, we have to protect private equity. We have to let them buy all of our homes, drive up housing prices. Okay, they don't want that. We definitely don't want that. The only people who want that are corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans. More corporate Republicans, sometimes Kamala Harris makes some movement towards saying that she would go in that direction. I don't believe her for a second. Democrats brag about how they negotiated 1 to 10 drug prices. Wow, there are tens of thousands of drugs. There's no reason why they shouldn't all be negotiated in a free market. But we don't have a free market because those drug companies have purchased corporate Republicans and corporate Democrats, and they don't allow us to negotiate drug prices. We're the only country in the world that doesn't, that has passed laws saying we must take whatever price the drug companies give. That is insanity, it's corporatism. No one other than corrupt politicians is in favor of it, and of course corrupt media as well. Money out of politics polls at about over 90%, and no more wars is exactly what the populist right and the populist left agrees on. And so for the populist right, they'll say, oh great, my mission accomplished. Donald Trump is so anti-war. Is he? Well, we're gonna find out. One of them is gonna win, and when they do, my guess is they'll do none of these 6. None. Trump will continue to do whatever Israel tells him to do because of his donor class, and they will start more wars, and Trump will make us pay for them, and he'll make us keep fighting them. We'll find out if I'm right or wrong if he wins. Kamala Harris will not ban private equity from buying our residential homes. She will not negotiate all drug prices. She might get up all the way to 20 drugs after 4 more years. That will leave 9,980 drugs that we cannot negotiate. I'm putting that as a round number. So and money out of politics, both of them love money in politics and will do absolutely nothing about it. So my point is, vote as a block. If a politician delivers on any of these, then we vote for them. That's how democracy is supposed to work. If they don't deliver on any of these, we don't vote for them. What if neither side delivers, which is almost always what happens? Well, then we go looking for another candidate. And we don't go a year before the election, and we don't go 3 months before an election. We start the voting block now. And sign the petition. Let's get it to be as large a voting block as possible. Imagine if there was 1, 2, 3 million voters who said, I'm voting purely based on this. And if you don't give me this, you are never, ever going to get me to vote for you. And it doesn't have to be all 6 guys. I mean, it would be amazing if we get 2 out of 6. Again, overwhelmingly popular with the whole country. But since we don't live in a democracy and we're ruled by the donor class, these corporate politicians will never do it. So if they don't, let's go find someone else that'll either challenge a Democrat or a Republican in a primary, or maybe even third party, but you've got to get started really early, find the right person, and say, all right, then our votes are going to this person. Stop letting fear rule your lives. Both sides go, oh my God, you don't want the other person in charge, so vote for us. And then after you vote for us, we'll do absolutely nothing for you. So let's start this voting block that demands change and votes based on change, and stop taking the nonsense propaganda from both of these corporate parties. All right, that's my take on it. Jordan, what do you think?
I think this is smart, and I'm glad to see you're doing this, and I would encourage people to join this effort. Think about what frustrates you the most in our politics and the outcomes that we're seeing, how we've seen this rightward shift, even in the Democratic Party, unfortunately, especially in the Democratic Party, on major policy issues. Why do you think that is? Do you think they just suddenly changed their views? Or do you think it's because the Republican Party has gained such a stronghold and have shifted so far to the right? They didn't do that on their own. The Freedom Caucus and because of the Tea Party movement, they were able to shift the party right. And now we're seeing that impacting our policy, impacting legislators across the country. So what the progressive movement needs is not just you all to take action, but then also the Congressional Progressive Caucus to act as a bloc. And by doing that, we can shift the Overton window back to the left. So I'm really happy you're doing this, Cenk.
And to that Progressive Caucus, if they'll ever listen, remember, these are the easiest ones. You don't have to go to an incredibly difficult progressive social issue and start there. You could start with something that 90% of the country agrees to. And if you're wondering why they don't, because if you say, hey, let's get money out of politics, all of their colleagues catch feelings. So every once in a while, people in Congress will pay lip service to it. You'll see some populist Democrats for sure, and a smattering of populist Republicans say, oh, sure, let's get money out of politics. But the minute they go for a vote and the drug companies buy off all of their colleagues, they go, shh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Oh, our beloved colleagues. No, your colleagues are not beloved. They're the ones ruining this country. This should be elementary. Paid family leave, you can't get a bill passed at 84%. You're a terrible politician. And the reality is, the reason I always focus on that one, guys, is because it shows you they're not trying to pass the bills. The only way that you get Democrats, I mean Republicans doing any of these, that would be amazing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I've never seen them do this. I've never seen Trump do any of this. Okay, but Democrats at least pretend to want to do some of these things. And then when they get in office, 1,000 excuses. Oh, the dog ate my homework. The parliamentarian blocked it. Oh, the filibuster. Oh, Joe Manchin, cinema, this, that, the other thing, the Russians. Okay, no more excuses. If you don't do these super easy ones, you don't get our vote. And it's not our fault, it's your fault for never, ever delivering. And that's why I'm saying this before the election. I don't care who wins in terms of these policies. We should make both of them do it, and we should put enormous pressure on them. Do not listen to your own side when they say, oh, no. Us not doing it is amazing. You should just only yell at the other side for not doing it. Well, brother, you're in charge. Whether it's Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, or sister, you're in charge. Why don't you do it? Now, I'm tired of the excuses. Let's do this populist voting block, and let's make sure that they're a little bit afraid of us, not in a physical weirdo way, but in a political way. If you keep giving your votes to corporate politicians, you will never get anything on this list. Let's be a voting bloc that makes a difference. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.